Welcome back, everyone. We head out to the west end of our coverage area for this next round of previews. 5 out of the last 6 years, the Pulaski County Maroons have won their region championship with 3 state title appearances and 1 state championship. It comes as no surprise that the Maroons are expected to be a top Class 5A contender again this season. But the big question is how much potential does this year's Maroon squad have? Team 36.
We've been working together for 4 years now, and it's just, we've always been a strong package, but I think this year is going to be special.
Their motto, leave no doubt.
I think our biggest goal is to go to another state championship game. I think we're capable of that, and we're working hard, push for it every day.
The Pulaski County Maroons are coming off of their 6th region title in school history and a trip to the Class 5A semifinals.
You've got to be thrilled for them and what they were able to accomplish. We got to find what our potential really is and try to achieve our potential.
The Maroons have loads of potential this season as they return 9 starters on defense and 8 on offense. But one of the main questions is who will be the next Pulaski County quarterback?
We've got a young quarterback we're really high on, a young guy named Drew Holston, who will be a sophomore. He's got all the skills that we like to see in a quarterback. He's got all the potential to be an outstanding quarterback.
His main target?
Passes complete to number 80, Jake Sloan.
EKU commit Jake Sloan.
Drew's stepping up great. He's hitting me. We're getting our timing down every day, getting better and better, and he's looking to be a lot better than I think he's going to be.
With a lot of experience returning and talented guys leading the way,
We want to achieve our potential.
the Maroons want to find out their potential.
I don't know what the win-loss record is going to be. I don't know how far we'll go, but we want to make the effort to win every game.
We're worried about what we're doing, and obviously getting to a state championship, that's the main goal every year.
Our goal is simply to achieve our potential as a team, and yes, this team's got a lot of potential.
The Maroons, of course, lost their starting quarterback Wiley Kane from last fall, but bring back the state's leading receiver in Jake Sloan. Running back and linebacker Tristan Cox returns as well. Cox led the Maroons on the ground last season and was the 2nd leading tackler on the team. Connor Hargis is back and has the chance to finish his career as the Pulaski County Maroons' all-time leading tackler. The Maroons get their season started against UK commit Bo Allen and the Lexington Catholic Knights in Game 1 of the Don Franklin Bowl. That one kicks off Friday at 6 at Southwestern.
Now to another program with a lot of history. The Somerset Briar Jumpers made a deep run in the playoffs last season, and they hope to do the same in 2019 with a couple of new faces. 2018 was a good year for the Somerset Briar Jumpers as they made it back to the state semifinals for the first time since 2013. Now the Briar Jumpers look to take the next step.
It's been a long time since we've been back to the title game.
2008 to be exact is the last time Somerset played in a state championship.
One big goal is definitely to make state and possibly win it.
However, the Purple and Gold have a couple obstacles in their way, starting with replacing key seniors from last year's team.
We lost probably our top 3 players at each level. Some of those guys were leading us in tackles, so it's very difficult to come in and replace that.
The Briar Jumpers feel they have the talent to fill in.
We definitely lost a lot of big pieces last year, but the main core of the team is still there.
Just not the experience.
We have a lot of pieces, we just don't have a lot of experience.
In addition to losing pieces, Somerset also plays in one of the toughest districts in the state with Danville and Lexington Christian.
With the new playoff system that they have in place, every game is important, and especially in district.
The Briar Jumpers will rely on a defense that only gave up 12 points per game last season.
Every year we come out, we start with defense. I believe defense travels. Offense is nice. We want to put up a lot of points, and I hope we're able to do that this year. But anytime you have a defense that travels and plays like we played here in the past, they absolutely have played their lights out in the last couple of years, and I want to see us continue to do that.
And junior quarterback Kaya Sharon, who threw for 1,846 yards and 13 touchdowns as a sophomore.
He is athletic. I know a lot of people don't think he's fast. He's actually much faster than what people give him credit for. He's long-legged, so he doesn't look as fast on film, but he runs the ball well, throws it well.
And one of those key players, as we just talked about, was junior quarterback Kaya Sharon. Over the summer, Sharon picked up his first collegiate offer from head coach Mark Stoops in the University of Kentucky. Head coach Charles Lucas says that Sharon has all the tools, but he still has a ways to go to secure a Division I offer.
We have a quarterback that has a Division I offer. We don't have a Division I quarterback yet. He understands that. Kai knows he's got a lot of growing to do. Offers are just that. They're offers. There's nothing set in stone. He knows he's got to come in and work and get better every single day. He's a big kid. He has all the tools. There's a lot of people over this country that have all the tools, okay? So we need to make sure that we rise above and give the opportunity for that young man to go and earn a Division I scholarship. In 2 years, if he continues to work the way he is, I think he's going to be just fine.
Words of wisdom there by Coach Lucas about his starting quarterback, the young Sharon, another one of those in-state kids to pick up an offer from the University of Kentucky. He looks to improve on his sophomore year, where, as I said before, he threw for 1,846 yards and 13 touchdowns. Welcome back to the Gamble Toyota Pigskin Preview Show. I want to talk to you a little bit about heartbreak. Do you remember the first time you had heartbreak? Maybe it was your high school crush, or maybe it was on the playing field. For the Pikeville Panthers, heartbreak happened in last year's state championship game. And the only way to make that pain go away is to bring the Class 1A title back to Pikeville.
We think about it a lot, you know. It's real humbling to make it that far and, you know, not be able to claim the title.
That's kind of like what's been driving us this offseason, to motivate us to continue Pikeville football tradition and just live up to the hype, you know.
Heartbreak is the only way to describe the end of Pikeville's season last year.
Every time we're out here on the field or in the weight room, we're always reminded of that.
But the Panthers have no choice but to lick their wounds and get back to work.
I think it all started in the off season. Our guys got in the weight room and did a lot of things and to get themselves stronger, get their bodies ready for this season.
Pikeville will start their journey back to Kroger by replacing key pieces to last year's team. But they have young guys ready to fill those shoes.
We did lose a lot of good guys that made a lot of plays for us, but we have a lot of guys ready to step up, a lot of young guys ready to come up and make a lot of plays.
All of whom should know the expectations that come with wearing maroon and white.
The standard set, you know. I mean, we're expected to be great and nothing less.
Add a couple key seniors to provide leadership for Pikeville.
Our upperclassmen lead the way as far as teaching younger guys what it takes to be successful in football, and a lot of that is in the off season, just them being examples of how to work.
And the Panthers hope that it equals their 5th state title.
Well, obviously this year would stand out a lot to me and all of my teammates if we could make it back to Kroger Field and win this year.
And one player to focus on for Pikeville is sophomore Isaac McNamee, who, you guessed it, is Coach Chris McNamee's son. Isaac appeared in a couple games last season for his dad, throwing for 465 yards and 6 touchdowns in his freshman campaign. His father also played at Pikeville. He was on Hillard Howard's first championship team in 1987. Now, with the McNamees teaming up this year, we decided to go back in the archives and look up a couple notable father-son duos. We started in 2008 with Winston Hines and Coach John Hines at Pulaski County. Then also in 2008, John Dudley Hilton and his father, Coach Dudley Hilton. The two won the Class 4A title that year and went undefeated. And finally, Coach Hillard Howard and Jason Howard. Jason quarterbacked his father's 1989 state championship team.
Hey, also in the Big Sandy region, the Paintsville Tigers will start 2019 back in our Alice Lloyd College Mountaintop 10. The Tigers lost to Raceland in the playoffs, a district foe the Tigers can likely see in 2019 not once, but twice.
It might be a new season for Paintsville, but the Tigers are focused on business as usual.
Our goals and expectations for this year are just like every single year, state championship. That's what we prepare for every year.
After finishing the season 10-3 and making it to the Class 1A quarterfinals, the Tigers are entering 2019 with the same mindset.
Same as this year as it always is. We're putting in the work, trying to put in the time to get better every day.
Paintsville lost 8 seniors. 6 of those players were receivers or running backs and defenders in the secondary, while the other 2 were linemen. Despite the loss, the Tigers expect to not skip a beat because of their depth and leadership.
You know, that has to do with senior leadership and those guys that every year they help the freshmen be where they need to be and do what they need to do.
This senior class of 6 is no different. They know what is expected of them and are up for the challenge.
You know, you got to be a role model for the young kids coming up. So, I mean, you got to be a leader by example, by talking as a leader, and just proving everything on the field.
Get more reps and be prepared and know what you're supposed to do when your time's called.
The tradition of Paintsville football is a strong one through the community. The blue and white represent those who have worn the jersey before this team and the ones who can't.
It means everything. We work for Braden Jericho, who can't play, and he's a big aspiration to us and the Tiger family.
Meaning every time the Tigers take the field, all of their effort will be laid out on the field each and every snap.
Hey, district stays mostly the same for Paintsville, as the Tigers will still have to go through Raceland. They could also get them in the playoffs again there as well. We'll talk a little bit about more about how the playoffs will play out this season. Tigers open the season on the road against Lawrence County Friday at 7:30 p.m.
It's hard to get to one state title game, let alone 4 straight. That's what the Johnson Central Eagles have done. Last year wasn't the outcome that they wanted, but this year the Eagles are aiming for 5 straight with a better ending to the story. 2 points.
I think sometimes things go your way, but they sure wasn't going our way tonight. We just made some mistakes. Our kids did the best, and I feel like they represented the mountains about as well as anybody could.
A tough ending to what was a great season for Johnson Central 1 year ago.
It's tough to look back and, we were so close. Calls and stuff, you can blame it on that, but we worked hard on the off-season stuff, and we're going to be ready by the end of the season.
The state championship's all we have on our mind right now.
That loss has become fuel for the Eagles.
Our senior class has been to 3 state championships. We know what it takes to get back. We've lost 2 in a row, and it's just a bad taste. We're not going to lose again.
We got that bad taste in our mouth. We're going to get back there, make up for last year and the year before those.
Playing at Kroger for 4 straight years now, it just motivates you to get back there. Tough loss last year, but I think we'll be right back this year.
This year, the Eagles say that their depth is what can propel them to a 5th straight state title appearance.
Our toughness in our offense and defensive lines, and we're really deep this year, I think, and I think we have a good shot at making a big run.
This year, we've really bought in. We're really deep in skilled guys this year. We've got a good line, and I think it'll be a good season. I think we'll make another run for the title.
In order to make that run,
we're just going to take it one game at a time.
The Eagles are keeping things simple.
Do what we can, take it week by week, and just get better every week.
And we know what it takes to get there, and we're going to do everything we can to make it back.
Head coach Jim Matney says that the Eagles, of course, want to win for their community, but also for Eastern Kentucky as a whole.
Of course, we want to win a state championship for our community and for the mountains.
Should the Golden Eagles want to get back to Kroger Field, they have an entirely new road in order to do so with a brand new district in Class 4A District 8. There is Clay County, Harlan County, Letcher Central, Perry Central, and of course the Golden Eagles. Johnson Central will take on Lafayette for their first pop out of the box.
It was a tradition I learned about early and often in my first sports season here in Eastern Kentucky. The Belfry Pirates are a no-brainer when talking about the Alice Lloyd College Mountain Top 10. While the same pirate tradition continues, Belfry has a little more ground to cover going into the season after falling in the quarterfinals the last 2 seasons.
While the expectations remain the same for the Belfry Pirates, the team has spent the offseason filling gaps with new faces.
We've got a few of our backs back, but now our whole offensive line's new, other than 1 or 2 guys. Tight ends are going to be new, and having a new quarterback slows things down a little bit.
While the process might take a bit longer, any player that takes the field Friday night for Belfry knows what to do because the guy before them, starting the tradition that is Belfry football.
When I first came up here, I had Derek Wellman ahead of me. So just being able to learn and pick up things from him and having my own style to run and everything, that's awesome to see these other players and trying to live up to the expectations that they lived. Because, they're out playing college and doing a great job at what they're doing. So. And the tradition here, it's awesome playing fullback especially because, it's just a great opportunity to get the ball on the field.
It doesn't matter how many new players Belfry starts each season with, the goal and expectations remain the same, and it's part of the brand.
It's an honor, honestly, to play for Belfry and have these 6 letters across my chest. I've had grandparents and parents and uncles that have played.
While the community and state expect those lofty goals from the team each and every season, head coach Philip Haywood says that's instrumental in the success each and every year.
I think it's a good thing. I think our kids respond to it real well. Our community responds to it, and we expect that. That's something that we've always wanted to have in our program, and I think we've been able to get to that point.
While the last 2 seasons have ended 3 wins less than the state championship team in 2016, the Pirates are inspired by the quarterfinal losses.
I think the biggest thing that we took from it was just to build a fire in us. I think, losing 2 years in a row in the region finals was definitely not our expectation, nor was it our goal ultimately. And I think definitely losing was, you never want to, losing's never a good thing, but I think it did build a fire in us and kind of motivate us to push and be better this season.